this woman got like so offended, like I had somehow personally insulted her for just like having done this. So she walks over to my table, like slams down the like 10 or 20 bucks or whatever I had left, and it's just like basically, my son and I don't need your money. And then like I'm like, okay, whatever, that's my bad. Maybe this person's like, having tough times and there's a lot of pride. I get that. But then the poor kid is like, "Mommy, can we get like cookies?" And she's like, "We can't afford cookies." And I'm just sitting there very silently going like, "What the fuck, lady? Like, what's wrong with you?"
Some people, right?
Right.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, that's my story. I actually really want to go to Subway once this is all done. I'm going to Subway today, boys and girls.
Better than Disneyland.
Gonna get me a foot-long ham sandwich. But maybe if I talk about Subway enough, like the same way Corsair kind of sponsored us because we kept talking about them, I wonder if like Subway would sponsor us if I just kept talking about them all the time.
What do you think a Subway representative is watching?
Well, I know I could probably convince 2 of them to, at least the workers at Subway.
The workers.
They're always like,
"What control?"
They're always like, "What do you do?" And I try to explain it. It amounts to like, you know what, guys, it's YouTube, right? Like, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But okay, game number 1 in the semifinals for the Who the Fuck Didn't Go to TvZ Cup. Spawning here in the bottom right, it's going to be Root Gaming's Pink Zerg SolO.
In the bottom left, as the Green Terran, he's uThermal. And he was talking about his last series in the lobby. I don't know if you caught that before we went in.
I was too busy getting mad about Subway. Go on.
So apparently, he said, "I played the series of a lifetime." And I was like, wow, it's odd, because he was facing Blue Cheese, or whatever, this is good, but I didn't think he was, like, great.
Okay.
Apparently, they almost went to 5 games in a best of 3. Because they drew once, and uThermal said that he barely avoided drawing the second time. And that's what, like, the game that ended, and we got into this.
I was wondering why that took so long, because that did take a while to get the game going, right? Like, I was like, man, their best of 3 is playing up for a long time. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so I don't would have been fun probably at cast. I don't know if it was because they were like super late game, or maybe it happened super early in a base trade.
See, I don't know that. Like, you say fun, but anytime I hear a draw, I'm like, waste of time.
Well, yeah, that's why I said it depends on what type it was, right? There's the 30-minute, and you both attack, and it's a draw, and then there's like the 1 base versus 1 base that turns really stupid and then into a draw. Those are fun.
Yeah, those are actually when it's like a good draw. I will say sometimes it's worth it. We had a lot of those in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I just remember a lot of them on merry-go-round.
Oh, nice catch. Sweet catch on the Reaper without speed. That's okay, in fairness, that's a lot more the mistake of uThermal than the greatness of SolO. Because with a Reaper, like, there's rules, don't go through a mineral line unless you're ballsy as hell, and tried to get a little too fancy there with that the attack.
The emoticons afterwards, like uThermal's like kind of
yeah.
Did I do that? And SolO's like, I think
oopsie.
He did. He seems so like bashful because he did it too. Like my bad. I kind of want to win the game. IDK.
Well, this is gonna stall at the bunker a little bit, which is dangerous. He does go back to building it and is hoping to draw the fire here with the Marine. Of course, if you actually stop the bunker, it's not going to open up this pathway to a crazy all-in, but that is a significant amount of links coming up. So without that bunker, he would have a much better time attacking.
We've been seeing these Widowmine drops a lot more often for the Reason versus Zerg. I think it's kind of skewed because it's all Labyrinth, or I saw Labyrinth, and then Lima League do it every single game. You'd open up with Widowmine drop and then go into like a tank drop maybe afterwards, and that was like 4 to 5 games. But just from everyone.
Dear.
Oh, that's a lot of links.
Well, the Widowmine does reburrow here on the ramp, and this is actually going to get a sweet hit. Oh, look at those last second splits out of SolO. That was actually pretty impressive, I got to say.
Yeah, it was. And this is very annoying for uThermal to deal with, but at the very least, the Widowmine might have gotten a great hit. It stopped the Lings from actually going up the main ramp, which maybe they could have gotten this round on the Marines. And, well, poor uThermal doesn't have any mining on his natural. That's, at least that's all. And he's going to try and get something done to SolO with this. And SolO saw the Widowmines, and you just don't get Widowmines and not drop with them. It's Terran most of the time. So the Spore Crawler is on the way. It's not done yet. The drones are pulled, so this looks awkward. Chase him! Get him! Yeah, you get that, Queen.
Well, she does go down. The Widowmine's going to make sure anything running out of the main is also going to get popped off, like Lings to come back. The... Oh, Widowmine on Burrows. Oh, he doesn't want that to detonate too early. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, and pick it up. Still almost get the second queen. There's a little bit of miss micro from SolO, not targeting down that medevac, and so it's pretty healthy. We'll come back again. SolO's going for a Spire, which, you know, it's like not the most used on Laralac, but it is coming back in just every single map. People are really trying to just go back to Heart of the Swarm, basically. But it's especially dangerous on this map because not only is these short positions, which usually doesn't favor the Muta player, but it's also that most Terrans are going 2-base on this map, not for that really quick third, and that's just going to hit before you're really ready with like your Larva and your Baneling speed and whatnot. It's gonna be a little scary. Another drop, this time without a Widowmine. Just continuing to poke and harass. As long as the mutas are out, uThermal has the opportunity, so it makes sense. But like I said, the Baneling nest, like, comes on pretty late. SolO was not expecting anything too early that he would need it for. So Centrifugal Hook's not going to be out super early. Probably in time for the push, because uThermal is going to want to wait until Stim is done. And I think SolO might want to start it... Well, maybe not immediately. He's actually going to wait for the mutas. I have about 7 mutas right off the bat. Enough to take care of a medevac that doesn't have the Marines dropped, but not much else. Stim and Combat actually do start at the same time. They get a second tech lab. Where is the starport? Okay, it's ready to go. I'm just wondering where that medevac production was.
So, speaking of like these drops in the course of the game, one thing we've seen consistently out of uThermal is his late game versus Zerg is questionable. Like, he does cool things, but for the most part, I think if we're going to see uThermal take decisive victories, it's going to be the here and now in the game, right? When it's Mutas, Banelings, and Lings, not when it's fighting against Ultralisks who's struggling in the very, very late game. So I'm not sure if what he's looking here for timings, I guess I should say. But with Combat Shields finishing up near soon, he'll be able to start fighting around quite a bit.
He should push out as soon as Combat Shields is done. In fact, if he was a little more confident, say the mutas weren't out, he'd push like right now while Combat Shields and +1 is finishing. This is giving time for SolO to spread his creep, cover the little ledges that you will abuse if you're allowed to get there too quickly, so at least uThermal's gonna have to scan once. And getting his own upgrades, which he did hold off for to get the mutas first, as well as the Baneling speed. But there is the pick up on the tanks, I assume, and the push outs. Oh, didn't expect to see Marines over there. Don't blame him.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. The problem is with these mutas is they're not going to have proper Baneling support underneath this yet. Like, he's just getting his Banelings now. So for SolO, like, okay, maybe the mutas can zone out some of the tanks, buy a little bit of time, but he really needs those Banelings. Speed's going to be done in just a second.
So... yeah, this is the position you didn't want them to get to too quickly, and uThermal just blitzed, which could have been dangerous. If the Banelings were already done and ready for them on the bottom of the ramp, then you just screwed up really hard as a Terran, but they weren't ready, and uThermal, that brave man, that confident guy, just rushes in and is doing really nice damage, pulling back, letting the Marauders trying to soak the hits. Tanks focus on the Banelings. SolO's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the hatchery getting dangerously low already. I mean, there's that base to the north, of course, but look at that spread. Those Marines take almost nothing from the Banelings. The mutas can never engage +1 Marines on their own, and without any ground support, as you see, they get shredded. GG. uThermal takes game number 1.
Oh yeah, that 2-base push, man. It's difficult to deal with.
So, some debate going in the chat I don't want to touch too much on here, but to clarify something, someone says Boris greater than Rifkin, question mark? Technically, yes. So, a lot of people really do think that, I don't know, BaseTradeTV is Rifkin, so I also get the blame for everything. But we very purposely try and delegate a lot of things. And Mr. Boris Makarov is the head mod. This is something that's not secret information. So, I purposely try not to get too involved with the mods, otherwise the channel just becomes Rifkin through mods, right? So it's a collective. We do a lot of cool stuff, like we vote on bans sometimes it requires more immediate action. We've got chat logs, and there's a bit of a council for things. Like, just be fully aware, guys, that there's more to BaseTradeTV than just Rifkin getting mad at people. So when I'm saying this stuff in chat where I say it's up to mod discretion, I really mean that. Like, it's not my choice whether something is allowed or not in chat, right? If a phrase or a subject or a person, like, it's not up to me whether it's able to be discussed or not. That's up to the mods. So when I say mod discretion, I really want to clarify, like, I'm not actually in charge of the mods. They have Mr. Boris Makarov, who makes sure that they are well self-policed and autonomous a little bit in that regard. But Preon Terrace is coming up next. See you guys here in a sec. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 coming up here in the semifinals. Spawning here in the bottom right side of Preon Terraces, we've got none other than the Green Terran up 1-0, uThermal.
In the top left, as the pink Zerg, he is SolO.
SolO. Bonamalahichi Manahos Han Solo.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good hut.
I was like, what words sound right here?
Like a 9 out of 10.
So, one thing though from actually this drone coming across the map, scouting. I don't know if Solo's the type of guy to do a proxy hatchery.
Yeah, well, he throws in his own natural already. I think that drone scouting has been a lot more popular on this map. This is like the 3rd or 4th time we've been like, drone. What the hell?
Well, just wasn't uThermal one of the guys who did like that weird like 5-6 racks, just huge marine build? So yeah, definitely worth scouting.
Yeah, he lifted off to the gold. So definitely like check the lift off to the gold, check for regular proxies, gas proxies, and just in general if they're going for like 2 or 3 racks Reaper. Yeah. Preon Terraces can be a very cheesy map for Terran. So
I don't want to take this in the wrong direction. I'll keep this about as PC as I can. But the conversation in chat brought up this one point that I've always had a bit of a sore spot on. Growing up, I think we've discussed this a couple times on stream, right? Like growing up, reading things like the Hardy Boys and Encyclopedia Brown and stuff, a little bit of the older language of things. The word queer for me growing up always meant strange, different, amiss, like something was just off. It didn't have that gay connotation to it. And I hate how growing up, with, I guess, that whole society changing and whatnot, I hate how that word became a negative thing. Because I distinctly remember several instances in high school, for example, saying queer to mean just like the actual definition of just strange, right? Like, again, that's what I grew up with. It kind of sucks that language, like there's some cool ways language has changed things, but that's definitely one of the really lame ways. And I hate that that's, unfortunately, the way things have become.
So there's that. There's also the, like, I know there's another discussion in chat about taking backwards, like queer. Like, yeah. There's like I guess English and language in general is like really fascinating, but the point is that a lot of the times on the internet people will say something and they'll mean it one way and you know it, but their defense is no, I meant it the other way, and that just, I think that's where we're leaving it to mod discretion. So. Yeah,
that's again why I say we leave it to mod discretion, because they do a great job. They're volunteers, guys, and they help us out and make the channel awesome.
I was thinking about this, right? Like, we talk about how we've been casting every single day, and not to get, like, a round of applause or anything, but just, like, sometimes just, like, facts. Like, we're a little bit tired, or we saw this, or we can't remember a game because we've been casting so much, like, blah, blah, blah. But the mods, especially the European-timed mods, because that's the majority of the times that we're casting, have been here every single day. And I believe every single series. I think I've only once or twice where Ripken had to be like, oh wait, no one's here, like, I'm gonna go back and do something with the bot. So they get a big shout out too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know who's been here like for every single one versus like who trades out, but yeah, the mods for BaseTradeTV. There's a comment in chat earlier like, oh, this is like really slow chat for like 3.5k people, and I was like, no, you're completely wrong. This is great chat for 3.5k people because we don't have a bunch of idiots spamming copy pasta ASCII penises all over the place, right?
Yeah,
like, our chat is great because of our mods, and that's definitely a big part of why I like it, at least. Shout out to Heartbeat SC2, by the way, for subscribing to the channel. Nicely done. And Milk and Cookie says, check your personal donations. Ooh my. This never happens. I'll check it in a minute.
Yeah, we do have Hellbat attack coming in here. SolO did see the Hellions, but he didn't see the armory. But honestly, like if there's Hellions by TvZ, I feel like you really should be checking for the armory.
Well, okay, so uThermal is definitely not a predictable player in my opinion. He is, however, a player that can, I think, be classified as aggressive early on as Terran. Like, not a lot of players can be. Like, you'll have the odd drop, but then there's no follow-up. uThermal is someone who will hit you with these Hellbat attacks. He'll come at you constantly and consistently and attack you maliciously. So it is something to be expected.
Yeah. Haha. Jinx.
Damn it.
But this is really awkward, not just because there's roaches, which we can't expect in like a macro game from Pre-on Terraces especially, I think, is maybe... It has now actually become the least used map for mutas, in my opinion, but it's also the fact that it's like a 2-base all-in, actually, from SolO. So to see that, uThermal definitely was wise in just backing away. There's way too many roaches. And now it gets a little weird, because he runs back in. uThermal, or SolO probably decided he would go back home. So he does the attack, but without reinforcements, without lings that actually really solidify an all-in. They actually get into all the crevices
also,
and really
oh
good
no,
damage.
he's getting wrecked by AI, because he's trying to auto-attack up the ramp while he defends at home. But with the wall off, of course, it's derping out. That gave uThermal the time to get the Liberator up. That first bunker should have been bust before the Liberator is set up on the front lines. Now, there's more bunkers behind this, and I think uThermal is pretty set, pretty good to go. But unfortunate for SolO, this could have also gone very differently, perhaps. Looks like the Ravager takes out the Liberator, but hopping into that second bunker, I didn't realize he lost so many units on the way. So it's only one Marauder's worth of DPS at home. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, he killed the drones at the gold. That's cool, but he's still got to deal with this attack.
Yeah. I thought he was looking pretty good, but I guess it was just all like fake bunkers. They didn't really have much going for them. Using the SCVs is fine. He actually has a lot to lose. Even without killing his own drones on the side of the map, you threw up 3cc, and Terrans can lose about 30 SCVs before they're almost shit out of luck. But he loses 23. He keeps SolO's drones low. SolO's, of course, started off low because he went for the all-in. And this is still much better for uThermal.
Right, the 3cc, even if it's not about replacing the SCVs, it's just about dropping the mules. Boom.
Yeah. Yep. And then you replace the SCVs, and the mules honestly are so good, they can even get you just SCVs plus some production. He has Stim. Maybe hold off on combat shields for a little while, but Stim and Medevacs are definitely going to cut it against SolO's very basic ground army.
Well, one of the big things missing prior to this was tanks. Being able to shuffle those around will always be nice. Having one set up in the high ground, that works too. But going for a drop and seeing, oh, I might need these at home. Trends are pretty quick to unload. Bit of a nope.
Yep. That's exactly what it was. Nope. So, SolO, though, I mean, like, his army really is not that impressive. The lings surround is usually what's the scariest part of an attack like this. And the lings don't get us around. There aren't that many.
GG.
And, GG. Okay,
yeah.
there it is.
That, in fairness, that game got a little awkward at a couple different points for both players. But uThermal was the one who looked better coming out of the awkward situation, I guess. Like, you both go for the handshake, but uThermal was one who actually, like, raised his hand and, like, brushed it through his hair to make it look like he wasn't trying to in the first place.
Yeah.
But okay. Let's see in the brackets. Does the other matchup? It's Revolver versus Guru. Oh, Revolver beat Night End. I actually didn't expect that, to be completely honest.
Huh.
Okay. Revolver versus Night End. Or sorry, not Night End. Excuse me. I just said you got knocked out. Revolver versus Guru.
Yeah. There you go.
This means uThermal is going to be in the finals. That's going to be pretty cool. We're going to go to a commercial break while we get this set up, though. So stick around. We'll see you guys in a minute. 2.